Today on Public Eye News, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel sues the Trump administration over federal layoffs. And later, new cases of avian influenza are discovered in Monroe County.
Beck Beerley will have your weather forecast for the next couple of days. Later, Emma Ross will bring you today's sports breakdown. I'm Bianca Kroll.
And I'm Austin Graham. You're watching Public Eye News. The Michigan Public Service Commission, or MPSC, has disallowed more than $30 million in an attempted cost recovery effort by DTE Electric. File cost recovery cases occur annually with the MPSC as businesses seek to recover from monopolized ratepayers and expenses incurred by utility corporations. In the cost recovery case featuring DTE Electric, the MPSC ruled that the company improperly attempted to charge their customers for over $30 million. The ruling comes after the company failed to support any of the costs as beneficial or necessary to their electric customers. A majority of the money dealt with the improper management of multiple power plants by DTE. And Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel has joined a coalition to protect the National Labor Relations Board, or the NLRB. Nessel filed along with more than 20 other attorneys general to oppose a legal challenge that would limit the NLRB's ability to allow American workers' rights to unionize. The brief was filed on Thursday with the U.S. Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals in the agency's case versus Yap USA Automotive Systems Incorporated. Yap is charged with by the NLRB for allegedly interfering with, restraining, and coercing employees in the exercise of their rights under the National Labor Relations Act. Yap's lawsuit is arguing that the NLRB's proceedings and structure are unconstitutional. Nessel and the coalition are asking the court to deny Yap's request for an injunction, which would pause the agency's operations.
Nessel has also filed a lawsuit against President Donald Trump in the numerous layoffs of federal employees. The Trump administration had initiated mass terminations of federal workers and ordered many federal agencies to fire thousands of employees. Nessel joins 20 attorney generals in filing the anti-firing lawsuit. The Attorney General Coalition argues that Trump's mass firings can cause burdens and expenses on the states. It says these layoffs will also harm state finances and undermine vital state and federal partnerships. Nessel is seeking an immediate ruling to the court to reinstate unlawfully fired employees, stop further similar terminations, and identify affected employees. And continuing our coverage of the Michigan's response to the mass federal layoffs, the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity, or LEO, is highlighting resources for Michiganders who were recently laid off from federal positions. Susan Corbin, director of LEO, said that the department is dedicated to ensuring that laid-off federal employees can find a new job and even file for unemployment. Some workers are eligible for the Unemployment Insurance Agency if laid off for no fault of their own and need financial assistance. Michigan Works is also including resources such as basic career services, individualized career services, and training services. To find more information, go to michigan.gov/federalworkerhelp. And top U.S. negotiators will meet with Ukrainian officials tomorrow in hopes of kickstarting ceasefire talks. At the same time, Russia is increasing its airstrikes on Ukraine. CBS' Holly Williams reports from Lviv, Ukraine.
It's been 10 days since that explosive meeting between President Volodymyr Zelensky and President Trump in Washington. Following that, the U.S. suspended the delivery of military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine, both of those vital to this country's defense. Now, yesterday, Trump said that the pause on intelligence sharing had just about been lifted, but gave no further details. Meanwhile, diplomatic wheels are turning. Ahead of that meeting in Saudi Arabia tomorrow, a senior U.S. official says Ukraine wants to move forward. President Zelensky is visiting Saudi Arabia today. Here in Ukraine, though, there is deep anxiety about President Trump's upending of U.S. support 3 years after Vladimir Putin invaded this country. Last month, Trump inaccurately called Zelensky a dictator. In fact, one Ukrainian poll found that trust in Zelensky has soared to 68% here in Ukraine, following his public dressing down at the White House. Zelensky stressed over the weekend that his country has always wanted peace. But the fear in Ukraine and in Europe is that Vladimir Putin could use a ceasefire to buy time and then invade again in the future. And to stop that happening, they want the US to contribute to security guarantees. Holly Williams, CBS News, Lviv, Ukraine.
After this break, we'll be back with your weather update. Stick around.
Hi, I'm Amy Brenneman. My family and I are enthusiastic fans of public media. Public television and radio strengthen our democracy. They educate our children and empower us all to be lifelong learners. Each PBS and NPR station is a local nonprofit organization committed to the local community. Public media belongs to you and me. It's up to us to protect this essential national treasure. Information on how you can help is found at protectmypublicmedia.org.
Hello and welcome back. My name is Beck Burley and I'll be giving you a Public Eye weather report. Taking a look behind me at the rooftop campus cam, it's looking gorgeous on the Academic Mall right now. A little bit of activity and not a cloud in the sky. Let's take a look at our conditions around the UP. Starting off in Houghton and around the majority of the UP, it's looking sunny and beautiful. It's currently 55 in Houghton. In Ironwood it is 61, down Iron Mountain it is 61, and down in Menominee it is 56. Taking a look at the eastern side of our board in Escanaba, it is 49. In Manistee, it's 42. And in Sault Ste. Marie, it is 39 and cloudy. Back in Marquette, it is 57 and sunny. Taking a closer look at our conditions, we're looking at winds out of the south-southwest at 18 miles per hour with a barometric pressure of 29.49 inches and falling. Tonight, we can see partly cloudy skies with a low of 24, winds out of the west-northwest at 20 miles per hour, and our moon phase is a waxing gibbous. Tomorrow, partly sunny, cloudy skies with a high of 27, a low of 20, and winds out of the north-northwest at 19 miles per hour. Looking ahead, this Wednesday, we have a high of 41 with cloudy conditions and a low of 27. This Thursday, a high of 48 with partly sunny skies and a low of 34. And this Friday, a high of 54, cloudy skies, and a low of 44. That's all I have for weather. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Beck, for that weather update. It's nice to see the spring conditions starting to come around to the Upper Peninsula. Moving into some statewide news, the Michigan State University Veterinary Diagnostic Lab has detected a new case of highly pathogenic avian influenza in a Monroe County flock. Following an investigation by the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, or MDARD, the lab confirmed that a backyard flock tested positive for H-Pi. This is the third positive test found in Monroe County since 2022, the same year the avian bird flu was detected in Michigan. H-Pi is a highly contagious virus that spreads from flock to flock through infected animals, equipment, and on the clothing of caretakers. The current affected area in Monroe County is under quarantine, with some of the birds being depopulated to help prevent the spread of infection. And Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has awarded more than $3 million to over 600,000 adults who do not have a high school diploma. In an effort with the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity, or LEO, Whitmer has invested money into 15 public school districts to help residents 23 and older earn their high school diploma. Each of the recipients will provide services to the state's adult learners, such as career training, academic intake assessments, and dropout re-engagement. For more information about adult education programs in the state and to access the Adult Education Services Locator, you can visit michigan.gov/learn-more, earn more. And Wall Street opened lower today after President Trump didn't rule out a potential recession during an interview. Meanwhile, Congress has to pass a budget by the end of the week to avert a partial government shutdown. CBS News' Natalie Brandt has the latest.
With China's retaliatory tariffs taking effect today, President Trump tried to downplay concerns of a trade war.
We're going to take in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, and we're going to become so rich, you're not going to know where to spend all that money.
But this morning, Wall Street reacted to the uncertainty and to the president's comments during an interview with Fox Business.
Are you expecting a recession this year?
I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition because what we're doing is very big. We're bringing wealth back to America.
In response to additional tariffs the U.S. is putting on China, Beijing is punching back with 15% retaliatory tariffs on chicken, wheat, corn, and cotton, and 10% tariffs on meat, dairy, and soybeans starting today.
The worst thing right now is the uncertainty of it. Putting on tariffs between integrated economies raises the cost for consumers and or producers, and the economy as a whole loses.
The tariff tensions come on top of a budget showdown here in Washington as Congress barrels toward a Friday deadline to avert a government shutdown. House Republicans released a stopgap plan over the weekend, which would increase defense spending while decreasing spending on domestic programs. It also adds funds for immigration enforcement and veterans' health care. It does not have support from House Democrats.
Right now, Mano, there's been no outreach on a bipartisan basis.
The House could pass the measure on party lines as early as Tuesday, but it faces an uncertain path in the Senate where some Democratic support would be needed. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And we'll be right back after this short break. Stay tuned.
Asking tough questions to those in power.
Russia right now has you outmanned, outgunned. Is it time to think about a settlement?
As a newcomer to Congress, what did you make of the high degree of dysfunction within the Republican conference?
I always felt that it was broken.
And covering events as they unfold.
Opposition fighters have reached the suburbs of the capital, Damascus.
PBS NewsHour and PBS News Weekend, every night on PBS and streaming.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Emma Morantz here to deliver your sports report. It is a great day to be a basketball fan as the Detroit Pistons defeated the Portland Trailblazers 119-112. Cade Cunningham put up 28 points during game time, followed by Tobias Harris, who added another 20 to the scoreboard. Jalen Duren had 18 points and a total of 12 rebounds. Detroit had a hard fight against Portland in their second back-to-back game and the fourth on the road. This win brought the Detroit Pistons' current record to 36 wins and 29 losses. Sticking on the basketball court, the NMU women's team faced off against Ferris State in the GLIAC semifinals. The team was defeated in a 73-67 battle. Leading the Wildcats in scoring was Sydney Whitehouse with a game high of 18 points. Alyssa Nims added 15 points as well. Abby Fraser followed with 11 points. The game was tied up until the last 90 seconds of playtime. The team will travel to compete in the NCAA Midwest Regional Quarterfinals as the third seed against Hillsdale on Friday, March 14th in Allendale, Michigan. Finishing the basketball stretch, the NMU men's team became the GLIAC tournament champions, defeating Lake Superior State University 78-63. This is the team's second GLIAC win within the past 3 seasons. Jackson Dudek was given the GLIAC tournament MVP, putting 19 points on the scoreboard. With this win, the team competes in their third consecutive NCAA tournament, where they are the 6th seed and will play against Michigan Tech in the first round on Saturday, March 15th in Springfield, Illinois. That's all I have for sports. Now back to the news desk.
Well, thank you, Emma, for that sports update. Austin, how about the men's basketball team this past weekend?
Good to see our boys in green and gold getting the job done, punching their ticket back to the NCAA tournament. But I hear you have an extra couple stories for us here.
I do. I think they're very interesting. Let's jump right in. Coming up, you can join the Escanaba Public Library for the Fiber Artists Gathering. This event is hosted every second Thursday of each month from 5 to 7 p.m. Come together to crochet, embroider, knit, sew, quilt, and weave with hobbies that don't involve a machine. All are welcome with experience or none, with a group of ages 16 and up. And an NMU Assistant Professor's book has been awarded the 2025 Gloria J. Lodson Billings Outstanding Book Award. Kristen White has co-authored in teaching with literacy programs that help future educators. She will receive the award in March as the 2025 Michigan Reading Association Teacher Educator of the Year.
Well, that's pretty interesting, Bianca. Are you going to go to that event with the crocheting and the sewing?
Honestly, they don't say you have to have experience, and I've always wanted to learn how to crochet and knit.
Yeah, I don't know how to do any of that stuff either. That does sound pretty fun. What a great opportunity, too, for somebody that doesn't know how to do that stuff or maybe hasn't done it in a long time as well.
It's a good thing to learn, even at a young age. It's good to know how to do that and to get your hands in it and all that.
Whether it's been, younger or older, that's pretty cool to pick up. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have here at Public Eye News. I'm Austin Graham.
And I'm Bianca Kroll.
We'll see you next time.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.